Hello everybody, welcome back to Language Litigation Integration, part 194, over a scoop of dog food. So, you know how we do it on this one. The main function of this lecture series is to document ongoing criminal activity in direct violation of my constitutional rights. Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7 of the United States Constitution gives me a right to my writings and my discoveries. I have written and discovered a lot. It is posted publicly. I've offered real money to have it published. But in addition to the Fifth Amendment, where you cannot distribute private property for public use without just compensation. And so, my constitutional rights are genuinely invalidated or violated, and my credentials are being withheld. Like, there is no way to network or to collect your property or to do anything when you can't have your college degree, when you have 1,000 PhDs in 10 different subjects. There is nothing you can do. I made videos about trying to get jobs. I made videos about trying to network with people. And so what happens? Every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, something happens. 2 days, something minor. 2 weeks, something medium. Two months, something major. And so August is about 2 months since, again, my mother wanted me to go get institutionalized in a psychiatric ward because I wanted to have a livable wage. And we have a direct connection to a billionaire. And so I went through that purely, first of all, I wanted to record the whole thing. And second of all, just to hopefully appease my mother, do not have her threaten my property anymore. Again, I made an agreement with my mother. I would give her, she loans me short-term cash flow with a secured loan against my patent, my intellectual patent that is United States property that is issued and still valid for 13 more years. And so the deal was to loan me again a whopping $2,800 a month that she herself said at this psychiatric place, it's not about the money, and it's just like the whole reason that anything seems angsty to her is because my parents and my brother are the emotional ones, and I'm the person that's just angry, and not even angry, just trying to collect my property literally. And I have done so many things to try to do that, and I've done it all reasonable. This is year 7 of this process. And so, so after that, literally at this weird psychiatric place, I asked my mom, is our deal valid for the foreseeable future? And she shakes her head and says yes. And then later that day, because again, people are so disrespectful, and I still just want to talk to people. I actually like my family members, believe it or not. But they just don't respect my life and my property. They just can't. And so, then later that night, she was like, the deal is good for now. And then I said, okay, can you at least give me 6 months notice? And then in writing over text message, she said, absolutely. Word for word, just one response, absolutely. And so now again, I have an actual portfolio. It's a secured loan. It is not giving me anything for free. And so then I don't know, 3-4 days ago, I get a text message from my mother. Hey Brad, it's your mom, I'm only gonna do the loan for another 4 months through the end of August. It just blindsides me. And look at my YouTube. I've done a piece of content or 2 pieces of content every day. So then I just call her back and say, like, what is going on? Like, why can't I just feel financially stable enough so I can do my research, do my creative process? I just need to feel safe, and that's all that needs to happen. And for that is a very livable wage. So I call her up, and then she says, word for word, something's off. What on earth is off? You don't understand that for the past 2.5 years when I was at apartments, federal agents and academics literally came up to me every other day. The ones that I know by name, Prashant, Adam, didn't get the Bulgarian chick's name. I don't know if the older Saudi-looking dude was part of your team. The dude with the little baby, I didn't catch his name, but 3 names from Grafton Park, and then at HQ Flats with the bigger pool, it was Johnny Appleseed, Ashley. Don't know if Rachel. I don't know if Rachel and the blonde chick were part of them, but the dude, the Interpol dude that came up and sat next to me, Key. So again, 10, 15 different people that I knew by name. I played beer pong with these people, and they directly come up to me and say, "Hey, you're pretty good at languages or something, aren't you?" And then it's just like. Then they start talking about the confirmations of the UFO datas and stuff. And so the thing that is off is that you think that is a joke, or you just don't accept that as true, which is why I don't have no idea why not. Because I was the one that lived it, and they would just come up to me and talk to me about my research. It is just not public. I have a boatload of research that is worth a lot of money. Now, on the contrary to that, again, my alcohol patent, I checked in with the owners of that. They think we might be able to get some in selling on through like Native American reservations or something. But it doesn't change the fact that the FDA should still just legalize cannabis oil because it's healthy and prescribe it, which is, again, a bigger part of the lawsuit as well. And so it's just like I have all this research out there, and I just again, Mom, I'm sure you'll be watching this one, but literally my old neighbor Adam, 2 years ago, said, "Why are you still trying to like make money or do businesses?" And I told Adam, because you get a paycheck and you can make choices for yourself. And Adam, I told you this day was going to come. Here it is. And then it's just like, so I just called her literally just to figure out like, why I went from 6 months to 4 months when 2 months ago it was just for the foreseeable future. And she just doesn't treat me with a professional respect. And it's my life's work. It's my life. And so I just call her back, and they're the tense ones. And I'm just like trying to figure out why. And my resonance voice is loud. I'm not screaming. I'm not yelling. People literally have reactions to the resonance level of my voice. This is my normal speaking tone. There is nothing angsty or weird about my presentation of speech. And so I just call her up, and she's like, "Something's off." And I just hit the moral degradation of being told something's off. No, nothing's off besides my rights are violated. Right? When you guys got your roof redone, they didn't do it properly, and something was off. They didn't do their job properly. People aren't doing their jobs, and it's my fundamental rights. And then she just hangs up on me. So sweet. I feel like a bunch of love and respect. Again, no interaction since then. But she's like, again, what have I been posting recently? Movie reviews, songs, reading a history book? What's off with doing academic research? Who knows? But regardless, I'm just going to call up my brother because it's so disgusting to be treated like that. And so I call up my brother, and then I'll try to reenact. I'll leave some of the conversation out, but I'll try to just reenact some of the interaction. So I just got off the most disrespectful conversation with my mom ever because nothing's off with me. People just don't do their jobs. There's nothing wrong with me besides my constitutional rights are violated, and it's insane how many people could do something to help. And so then I called my brother. My brother answers the phone. "Yo, B-man, what's up?" I just said something to the effect like "fuck mom" or "fuck this" or fuck this. I can't remember word for word. And then he just immediately like screeches and starts defending them. And then he starts like insulting my property. And I forget exactly what he said, but he said something to the effect of like, they're just giving you money, you haven't earned any, or not, he didn't say you haven't earned anything, but they said you're just giving you money, there's no contract or whatever, and then he just said something out about like disrespecting my property. I just said, and he like, it's hard to reenact because I don't remember word for word, but I just said, "I'll kill him," in a way of complete just like business fuck you. Like if you get in my lane in business, I'm just gonna run you the fuck over. And then he just starts screeching like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna kill our parents." Fuck no, man. Just have some maturity. This is my life's research. This is my entirety of my life. And I just get disrespected over it all the time. And again, in the most literally, genuinely translated as fuck you type of conversation. Like if you're sitting there playing poker with your boys and you say, "I'll kill you," it's not in any way a serious physical interpretation whatsoever. So then he's just screeching on that. I'm just like, come on, man, just like grow up and mature. And then, because since literally the opening the line was, he said, "Hey, B-man, in a good mood." And I just said, like, "Fuck mom." And again, I say, "Fuck everybody." I swear a lot. Like, sorry, I apologize. But I'm just expressing myself. And I'm the more mature one in these conversations. And then so right after the disrespect of my property, you can just tell it's going to be a fuck you conversation. Though everything he says, he just starts mocking me. And then I start mocking him because he was in town for a funeral. And he was like, "Man, you didn't even ask me about my friend." It's like, Brian, my life is very difficult. And I'm just focused on that the entire time. Because he wanted to go meet up for like lunch with my mom and dad. It's just like, my relationships with them haven't been great. And I'm over here working. I'm not angry or mad or frustrated or anything. I'm just trying to get something going. So we don't have to keep going through this process. And so again, it's like my dad is literally alive because of the cannabis knowledge I have today. And I prolonged, again, another relative of my life, like my cousin's wife's dad, life by at least 4 to 5 years off his deathbed. And so it's like, I assume his friend overdosed on a drug. And I was like, "Oh, no, we're here trying to change drug policy in the most literal way possible." So, but he's mocking me, and obviously I'm saying, "Fuck you, fuck your dead friend." Obviously shitty things to say, but this is a fuck you conversation with my brother. After getting disrespected my life's work. Obviously not a good thing to say, I admit that. But it's just like, fuck, man. This has been my whole life of this dynamic with our family. It's just like, we like Brian. We like Brian was a real thing my parents used to say to me. As like ha 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 ha. And it's like at this point, it's just, I have property, it's worth a lot of money. violating a contract is a suable offense, which is literally what people do in business practice all day. It's the most normal thing ever. Go turn on the TV. We have a couple lawsuits we'll be talking about today. Fox News settles with Dominion for $787 million over defamation lawsuit. Slander defamation is exactly what has happened to me throughout this community. And all I would sue our parents for, oh my gosh, is what they agreed to. This is a secured loan. Forget the stuff that hasn't paid to me, you guys. My research is worth nothing. My house is worth $350,000. I could go get a loan from the bank, or I could get a loan from my parents and keep the money in the family. And again, one of these things pops. I have 742 YouTube videos. Music, science, economics, guitar lessons. One of those things work, and none of this stuff matters whatsoever. But regardless, I have $350,000 worth of value in my house. I have the bar and restaurant. I'm hopefully going to be going on that soon, which would negate any need from financials from you guys. But it's just the disrespect of my life and my property the entire time, because it was literally over a scoop of dog food. Like the reason I'm not sitting at mom and dad's house, plenty fine, and live with your parents, don't care at all. I want to feel financially stable. I could have had $500-600 in the bank and had monthly expenses of beer and food, and no other anything. Or I could have, again, if I would have known this would have taken so long in terms of getting paid from the outside, or just acknowledgement or a time frame. Mother, like you said, it seems like I'm asking for some very reasonable things. I've been asking these people just for a time frame to budget my money, no problem. Actual publication, which is legally obligated, I'm not sure why we're not doing that, but they have told me in person to my face, we can do basically whatever we want. And so the amount of interactions I've had with these again, Fed people or academics or whoever is dozens and dozens and dozens of times. They are all documented. And then just to act like that stuff never happens, it's just disrespectful. I'm not a liar. I'm not making stuff up. I actually discovered science. And so in the conversation with my brother, it's like, one of the other things is like, well, maybe you don't treat people well, that's why you're in the position you're in. The position I'm in is I got scapegoated by a community of people, which is bona fide amongst my community old friend group. Nobody would debate what has occurred. And so the position I'm in professionally is, because again, he says, giving me money, a secured loan. Brian, you exchange your time for income, correct? Because he said he earns money, right? You exchange your time for money. I exchange my property for money. It's a business transaction. And so he's like, maybe you're in the position you're in because you don't treat people well. I do treat people well. Me and mom had an agreement, and she's been threatening to change this thing. Again, threatening me, taking away my livelihood over bullshit, over just disrespect. Because she told me that money's not the issue. It's not about money. It's just like, what? It's about disrespecting me or thinking that, they're just giving me blind money or that I'm being disrespectful in some way for just speaking on my life experience. And so, but then after his friend, he's like, you didn't even ask me about my new job. I'm on LinkedIn probably maybe once a day, but I don't have the app even on my phone. And so it's like I get on there maybe to make a post, and I don't really scroll that much on there. I scroll Reddit all day, but I don't really do much on LinkedIn. And so the reason I have these bills is I gave Tucker an extra scoop of food. And so I had to get away from just the walking on eggshells environment, but I have real property. And so it's just like, again, okay, so they've loaned me money for 3 years, $33,000 a year, $2,800 a month. So that's, again, 3 years, just $100K, $105,000 or something or whatever. Again, my house has value, has $350,000 worth of value. As is right now today, nobody giving me anything else. And so I can use my house as collateral, whatever would make anybody comfortable. But anyway, then he's like, you didn't even ask me about my job. When have you ever asked me about any part of my research in a direct fashion? Brian, last time when you came to my house, we played cards for a little bit and played Halo for a little bit. And anytime I try to engage my research and talk, it scares you guys, man. I don't know, it spooks and goofs. You guys get spooked. And it's about anything. Again, I do scientific research in every domain of science. And so then he starts mocking me because I start speaking Spanish. Or first he starts talking about, I'm trying to sound like a gangster. No, I've never pretended 1 minute of one day to be a gangster. I did sell a lot of weed, but it was nothing to do with gang membership whatsoever. And then so he's like, you sold drugs. Yeah, cannabis. which is sold legally now in basically every state in this country. And it should be prescribed in every doctor's office. So yeah, watch out. He's like, again, because once it's the fuck you conversation and they get spooked, it's just the tonality that they present is just insane. And so he's just like, you sold drugs. It's like, yeah, man, don't tell anybody. I only made a big lecture series about it. It's just super secret. But it's beginning. I'm just dumbfounded. Again, I'm not raising my voice. I'm mocking him. He's mocking me. But then he's like, and then he's like, but Brian, don't you remember when you and your friends sold drugs to James Judson's dad and Jim Kirk? Don't you remember that? So you sold weed too, buddy. But then he's just like, you didn't even like ask me about my day or like how I'm doing. It's like you don't engage my life, man. And I do this stuff all day. My life is on the internet. You know, when's one video you've shared? I get some of these videos might offend you guys. But when is one video you've shared? How many hundreds of families have I personally been interacting with and helped? And when you start attacking my moral character, I know how well I've treated people, and you guys just have scapegoated me. That is what has occurred. And so then he starts mocking me because he first tells me all the time I'm acting like a gangster. Nope. And then he's like, I start like going into Spanish, and it's really not like once you learn more than one language, whatever words pop up, you just start saying them. Like it's really a real thing. And so. And now he's like, and literally starts mocking me. Oh, you wow, like literally like this. Oh wow, man, you speak a lot of language. You're so cool. Are you 14, brother? This is I'm the most prodigious linguist ever. It's not learning language. It is fundamentally who I am, and it's empirical, and I can't stop doing it. It's like making fun of a retarded person for being retarded. And so I can't stop doing what my language capacity is. And so thank you for disrespecting my life, my research. And then this is at the end of it. Well, even like in the middle of the conversation, I'm like, okay, man, how's the mountains? Again, he's the emotional one in this conversation. I'm just like, how's the mountains? He's like, see, man, you're not even being serious. How are the mountains? Oh. And just to see the behavior from my parents and then directly to my brother, it's like my parents' behavior -1. And it literally just is. And so the best of it is like, again, I'm just coming off of being extremely disrespected by my mother. Again, absolutely the total nonsense of taking any of that stuff as an actual threat. Just complete, absolute fucking nonsense. You're threatening my property and rights to life, and it's an actual business arrangement. So you guys don't respect any part of my life, and the value is clearly here. But anyway, the conversation ends like, he literally starts mocking me by saying, it is what it is. Like, well, it is what it is, man, it is what it is. Yeah, that's the fundamental result of my research that's being restricted and in direct violation of the United States Constitution, and it's worth a lot of money. Like a lot of money. It's the biggest scientific result ever. So, over scuba dog food, I would not have these bills. But regardless, again, Mom, again, just uphold your obligation, please. At least give me the 6 months or the 4 months. Please don't stiff me. If you stiff me this month, because on the phone call, before she hung up, she's like, I don't even want to do it this month. You can't just spring this shit on me. You just can't. It's illegal. And business lawsuits are the most normal thing ever. I'm not going to feel bad for trying to defend my rights and property. I'm not. And so please, at least give me the 4 to 6 months, and I'm sure you're watching this, and if you're not super offended by now, please transfer it all at once so we can just go our separate ways, man. Because I love you guys, but it's just I can't deal with people that disrespect my life and my property in the fundamental way that I behave. And again, my research on every subject is on the internet, and nobody engages it whatsoever. And if people would engage it, like and share and subscribe, I would be able to pay my bills by now, believe it or not. And so that's the main story for today. Make sure the camera's still rolling. So just a couple of quick quotes that I wanted to revisit. Carl Quintanilla on CNBC said, "It's good to be king." Chuckles. Well, not in the morning. Because in the morning, guess what happens? You're hungry, your stomach's rumbling, and then you come to this awareness. You wake out of your sleep, maybe you had an interesting dream, and you just come to this awareness that I'm not going to do anything today. There was nothing I could do to get into the world. And it is just insanity. It's directly absurd. Okay, no publication, whatever. Instead of putting "Hey Hottie" on a post-it note on my door at Grafton Park, give me a time frame, or actually pay me, and still not publish. It would change nothing besides that dynamic with my family, literally. And I would do more content, which I want to do, but it's just been weird, it's just so weird. So it's not like being tortured is not a personality trait. And so when you wake up in the morning and realize that this is the only, like, I never formed identity, you never made real friends, you can't get a girlfriend because of social isolation. I swipe on Tinder. I don't know sure what else I could possibly do because I'm not allowed into any professional groups. And so it's not like my mornings would be perfectly happy. Again, when I first discovered this stuff and I was financially stable at my parents' house, the entire day was wonderful, like amazing. My capacity is beautiful. And then I realized I can't do it because I have to worry about money. And I have 15 careers sitting on the internet. And I watch YouTube all day and all of these people do like one thing and it just works. It just works. I did this for a year and it worked. Nothing works for me, man. But another one, just doing the CNBCs. Why this is Andrew Ross Sorkin, all why died, because it is all documented public. You can go find these episodes if you dig these up, because everything's on the internet these days. So the Squawk Pod, well, so is our admissions of guilt. And so this gets wide-eyed. I think we're all learning a little more about language, because you guys don't think, you just react. And I prove things instinctually, so it teaches you stuff, and if it reflects poorly on your behavior, you're not mature enough to grow up, it's going to cause you to not like me. Don't shoot the messenger. But anything else? Just this Team CNBC. But my neighbor Brock, a friendly dude, comes over, talks to me every once in a while. I don't know, probably about my age. Turning 30 in about 5 months. But he comes over and literally tells me to get out there. And so it's like, assuming apparently that statement assumes I know something about me. But get out where? I'm not living like a monk. I have no financial freedom. I have no opportunities in life. Get out where? Go to a bar? No, thank you. Go spend any money anywhere? No. Again, I haven't eaten out like my brother's lifestyle. He literally lives out west, and I don't know where he's living now, but would check himself into a new hotel every single night. And so I bet what he spent on lodging. I don't know if he's still doing that, but when he did do that, I bet what he spent on lodging was more than what I would, and probably 80% of what I would have had for an expenditure for the entire month. And so I haven't eaten out once. I get the food truck. I've gotten the food truck 3 times this year in the springtime for like $12. Every other meal that I've prepared, and I've worked every day to produce more content. So my neighbor Brock, get out where? Like I can't spend anything. Gas in my car isn't even in my budget, and so it's just absolutely insane. So any other? I think there was a couple more. I just have I got pitched a couple other products the other day. This chick coming up from Moxie was like a pest service. Started seeming just like a normal saleswoman. she's in the conversation and she says something like, you can just tell it's a sales pitch. So I'm just gonna see if I can just playfully just see where the pitch goes bad. And so I forget what I said, but she literally she did a math equation for me. This is like, we have a big sale. We're originally from $300, now it's to $120, or you save $180 and it's $120. This is gonna be a shitty story, but for whatever reason, the way she presented it was like, it takes we can offer this big discount because our trucks are gonna be out here in the area. And I sit outside every day, and the trucks were not in the area, and it doesn't take $180 worth of labor and gas to get from downtown Columbus to Blacklick. And so I was just like, that didn't make any sense. And then she corrected me by saying 300 minus 180 is 120. And I was like, nah, math checks out on that. I was just saying the sales pitch didn't really check out too well. And I also got pitched some landscapers, or CIA, or both. They said $30 for my yard, not too bad. Just both my neighbors have lawn services, and again, I mow my lawn, I cook, clean, everything. I do everything about running a household myself. I have no expenditure for any extra services whatsoever. But they come over to give me their business card, and he says it's $30 for a yard, which again, my yard is small, and on a riding mower, you can do it in 15 minutes. So probably not a bad gig for $90, $100 an hour mowing. Shit, I could do that. Go buy a little trailer for my truck and have a landscaper thing. I like outdoor yard work. I could do that. But then I have to get clients, and that's networking, which is, what's Brad? But anyway, he's just giving off these feds vibes. So I just get joking. It was like CIA. And the dude just gets taken aback and kind of puts his hands up. So I literally just thought it was the landscaper. He's just giving me some strange vibes. And he turns around and shuffles away. So that was the one that was funny. The Moxie chick was just seemed to be straight up sales lady. But the landscapers, and I was like, I'm joking. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a CIA agent. I'm just like joking with the guy. But he puts his hands up and like kind of walks away and like, oh, you got me type of way. I was like, what? So I kind of like walk after him, like smiling on the side of my house, and just give his business card back, like, I mow my own lawn. Because $30 for a lawn mower is not bad, but I can't afford that. And again, I don't mind mowing my lawn. Mowing and trimming takes less than 45 minutes myself with a little push guy. So that was a funny one. Any other stories at all? Oh, I found an iPhone. So here's how I treat other people. So I was on my walk the other day, returning properties. I wouldn't consider myself a great character for just returning property. But on my walk the other day, found an iPhone. And so then I hustled back to my house and I put up a little to try to contact our homeowners association team to return the iPhone. But I put up a little sign, because I'm assuming all cell phones these days have like GPS, so you can just find my phone type of deal. It was an iPhone, so it was like binging tracking service or something. And so I just put a sign on my door, found an iPhone. If it's yours, ring the doorbell so you can get it. And so some, 45-year-old woman came over and got her iPhone. So I returned an iPhone. Sweet. So that is it for the stories. Past that, let's move on to the talking points, which includes like 13 stabbings, 14 million shootings, and more stabbings and shootings. Elon Musk paints over the W in Twitter to make the HQ headquarters read as Titter. What a fucking loser. Elon Musk, you're such a dweeb, man. Like Titter, like tits, bro. Sick. You got him. 69 420, blaze it. Uh-oh. The Dalai Lama apologizes after video asking him to suck his tongue. Asking a young child to suck his tongue, LOL. They're going to look into that one too much, but I guess he's appointed some great leader or something. And wanted him to suck some tongue. So that's a pretty interesting move. 5 dead and 8 injured in Louisville, Kentucky after another shooting. Gunman dead, connection to the bank, 25-year-old male. Saw the video on that one. I think one of the police officers was shot in the head. No update on that guy. Obviously shootings, duh. Tennessee lawmakers, reinstated after protesting last Friday. But question mark, because whenever I wrote this down, one of them had been reinstated. We weren't sure if the other one was being reinstated. Really would follow that up next. But again, is protesting a right? You can either have rules where you abide by them or you don't. They all get applied equally. But I just have breaking rules unclear because I don't know the Tennessee House floor rules and etiquette. So I just can't comment on that. This was a funny one. Truck carrying waste from East Palestine, Ohio crashes and spills the waste. Coming in hot. We're just cleaning up all the pollutants. Oh, we dumped it over here. Next neighborhood over. Bummer. Michael Jordan's last pair of championship shoes sell for $2.2 million. Most expensive shoes ever purchased. Obviously a collector item. I don't think anyone's buying them to go run some twos down at the YMCA. Ex-CIA director says Putin is a dead man walking. Is that a threat? Is that incitation of violence? So when I tell people they're going to be punished for treason, that's incitation of violence? Oh no, my credentials and my rights are violated and people want to identify me in a group of people, so I get scapegoated by every person I get exposed to because of my natural resonance level in my presence. But again, people have to realize I'm speaking as more of a world leader, right? At the UN, you have the country of Chad, the country of Georgia, and the person Brad. And so it's like, and again, talking with my parents, it's just like, oh my goodness, when does it stop? Oh, but yeah, is that? It's just no. I don't think that's incitation of violence. But that's my point. Is when I'm saying stuff like that, it's not, and I don't even say it's a dead man walking. Like I don't make physical threats. People threaten me, and I say I'm going to defend my property. And it's like, oh my gosh. Where's because I went out of order. NPR and PBS leave Twitter after being labeled state-backed media. PBS subsidies about $1 million on a $300 million operating budget from the government, whereas it said
Tesla / Elon Musk companies have been subsidized $4.5 billion for his companies. I'm not sure the operating budgets of their overall operations, so it's not one-to-one comparison. But regardless, I would absolutely bet that whatever technology things Elon Musk is doing has been subsidized way more than a broadcast station. And so just hypocrites, man. Everyone's just hypocrites. And posts on their ban NPR. It's like state-backed media. It's like, get him, Elon. Over at Titter, you go, bro. Mr. Beast, OG Chris comes out as male to female transgender. Will this affect business? His audience is mainly younger people, so the biggest demographic he would affect would be older people or intolerant people, which typically happens to skew older. Younger people skew to be pathetic. So, I don't think so. For his audience, I don't think so. I don't know. But I really don't think, again, I have nothing against trans people whatsoever. I'm just literally asking the question, will it affect his business? I mean, his younger audience, I think, will be extremely accepting. Might perturb some older people, but I don't think that's his audience. So maybe, I would say negligible. 11-year-old stabbed at the Dollar Tree after calling a 29-year-old an NPC. Multiple stab wounds. Hospitalized but released with damaged lungs and liver. Wow. So these are the people that people think I am. Oh, you call me an NPC, I'm going to stab an 11-year-old. No, I just want my property, please, or time frame, please, or not disrespected every day, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, please. And then it never happened after 2 years. Please. But we have dudes out here stabbing 11-year-olds for calling them an NPC. Real strong man on that one. Uh-oh. Mass shooting in Dadeville, Alabama, leaves 4 dead and 20 plus injured. Happened at a birthday. No more details. There's been more details since then. I think the shooter is still in the loose, but they have a suspect now. It was a 16th birthday party, and I think all of the injured were kids, or at least under 18. Uh-oh. Teenager shot in the head twice after ringing doorbell in the wrong house. Ralph Yarl, 16, Kansas City, Missouri. Rallies and protests are going on right now. And again, what if people just like to post on the internet, like shared my research? But when people get done injustice, people stand up for them. They might run a news story. They might have someone reach out to them. They might support them. But if you don't believe it and you just blame them, then you just blame them and don't help them. But if this stuff happens, then you have protests in the streets. People don't understand how relevant cannabis is to healthcare. They just don't. And so it's just like, people need to grow up and have values. That was another thing in my brother's conversation. I was like, do you read books? And he's like, oh, is that all you got, bro? It's like, the point is to be ongoingly curious. Because then you would see the validity of what I'm doing. You would have intellectual curiosity outside of anything I'm doing anyway. But so it's like people have to read and write on an ongoing basis, and it's not an insult. It's just once. I mean, that conversation was literally after the first, hey, B-man, what's up? Fuck mom or something. And then it's just fuck mocking, two brothers mocking each other. So, but the, but if like, again, if protests, again, if people actually stood up for what was right, if they actually developed their maturity level, instead of just playing the game of career chasing, then people would get what I'm doing. And again, I have so much music out there. Again, I'm a virtuoso vocalist, pianist, and guitarist. But again, require an opportunity. But there was 2 felony charges filed. I believe the man was released. Was this there's so many shootings this week, I can't remember. But that's what's going on with Ralph. But I think he's recovering. I don't think he's dead. Woman killed in rural New York after turning into the wrong driveway. I think this was the 16-year-old white chick. Yeah. 2 cheerleaders shot and wounded in Elgin, Texas after they tried to get into the wrong car. Man, it's really watch out where you're going these days. Wrong cars, wrong houses. There's like 3 of those this week, or again, I think I haven't made one of these videos in a while. But yeah, so that's cool. And again, I just people just know. Again, if the car pulls up outside my house, I'm looking out the window, but there's no chance I'm gonna start squeezing. And again, I have no fucking weapons. God. Parking garage collapses in New York City, killing 1 and injuring 5 more. The structural integrity. What show is that from? Structural integrity of the bag. Big Bang Theory. I don't know, just popped into my head. So that's cool. No, it's not cool. It stinks. People should be like, how does I don't have any interesting insights to municipalities or ordinances or permitting of architectural structures. Final talking point. Fox News settles for $778.5 million with Dominion over defamation lawsuit. I already talked about that earlier with the story. And again, my character has been defamed, slandered, to the point where the damages are tremendous, like profoundly tremendous. And the emotional distress it causes is just insane. It's just insane. The amount of people that know what I'm doing, the amount of people that can help me. Dom T-Bear yesterday, pay him some money. Who are we talking about, Dom? But somebody actually has to pay him some money or time frame within 3 to 5 years, honestly. 3 to 5 years and I'm good to go right now, no problem at all. No problem at all. But I don't have time frames and this is year 7. So again, I did my budget down to a penny the other day. So I have, this amount of dollars, this amount of time, but then this thing's gonna break down. And this is going to occur. I don't have health insurance. If something happens with my fucking health, then bam, car accident, this, that, boom. Then I'm wiped to zero. If I have to spend time in a hospital, then I'm wiped out. Like seriously. Again, I feel fine. There's no ongoing issues, but just shit can happen. And so it's just like, I have the financial security of not having health care. Now, I haven't bought new clothes in 4 or 5 years. I haven't traveled whatsoever. And again, I would be doing all of those things. All of those things. Whatever I do today is wrong tomorrow. If I would have had the cash I had before I bought the house, and then seen that cruise trip for 90 grand, I would have done that. For 3 years, I would have done that. And then what was the other? Or again, camping. Like I'm an outdoorsman. So I would love to buy a nice truck and a nice camper, and then have no maintenance costs, have no property taxes. And then, a hookup at a campsite, I don't know, $35, $55, $75. Well, then there's, $3 grand a month or whatever. But I don't have any expenses, no cable, no electric, no blah, blah, blah. And so I could have afforded to do that, and I'd be way more comfortable than having to maintain a home. And so I've worked so hard, and I've done so many things, and it's been so long. And these conversations and this disrespect, every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, after 2 years go by, it never happened. And it's disgusting, man. It really is fucking disgusting. So, it is what it is. Totally agree, Brian. And that's the fundamental result of my wife's research being mocked at me. And again, people at my level of intelligence, when Key says, "Oh, he can do this. Oh, it's scary. Oh," I can't turn what I do off. And to have people react to you like that and look at you like a threat every time you exist is disgusting. And all I'm doing, I'm the most mature person ever doing scientific research. I want to get I want financial stability when I have all of this property out there. And so that's it for today. We'll see if my parents try to stiff me, because I will. Again, I would just sue them for what they've agreed to, and I'm paying you back 3 to 1. And it is a secured loan against real property, as is today. Again, I would collaterally my whole house. So if I didn't pay you back, you could have the property. Seriously. So I just want somebody in this fucking world to treat me with decency and respect. It can be anybody. First person that gives me confident financial income. And I told my alcohol partner, if he can cover 2 to 3 grand a month, I'll make him rich. $100 million. First person that lets me feel confidently financial stability outside of my parents is going to get $100 million. And it's legally obligated to do so. But we can do basically whatever we want. And for some reason, we choose to torture Brad, because the torture part is not a joke. When I wake up in the morning, Carl Cantonina, it's not bad being in the morning. It's a realization of being aware I have no rights, I am being violated. I could have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I can't because of crime. And it's insanity and absurd. So, thank you for watching. Language Litigation and Integration, part 194. Over a scoop of dog food, literally. See you on the next one.